నీకు మంచి పేరు తెప్పించేవాడిని.
Okay, good morning, my dear students. So now the participants are at 72 participants. Okay, so today in this class I will discuss about the principle of minimum potential energy. So before that, so let me ask some questions regarding the concepts we had discussed yesterday. So let me share my screen. So quiz questions. So the first one is, so which equilibrium equation in y direction is correct from the following? So anyone can answer. So unmute yourself. Which equilibrium equation in y direction? is correct from the following? D.
D, sir, D.
Okay.
sir.
Yes, very good. So D is correct answer. So D is the correct answer. So next question. So what are the strain components on YZ plane from strain displacement relations? YZ plane.
B, sir.
Option
B.
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 Yes. Option B is correct. So third question, strain displacement relations which are applicable. So when deformations are
Small.
very small, large, both small and large, so none of the above. So small, deformations are very small. When deformations are very small, so strain displacement relations are applicable. So while deriving stress strain relations, so what the material should be? Isotropic material. B answer. So A, linear elastic material, B, isotropic material, C, isotropic as well as linear elastic material.
C.
C is the answer. B, no, wrong.
C, sir. C,
Yeah, C is correct. So because, so Wuxler defined the material should be isotropic as well as linear elastic material. Okay. So
B,
fifth
sir,
one.
B.
B.
Fifth one, huh?
B, sir. Fifth one, B.
Fifth one, B. Yes, within the elastic
Within
limit.
elastic limit.
Yes, yes. So number 6, if the elastic body is elongated in X direction, so what is the lateral strain in Y direction? Lateral strain in Y direction.
Option C, sir, C.
C, sir.
Yes,
C, sir.
option C is correct.
Yeah.
So what is the expression for shear modulus?
D, sir.
A.
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 Option A.
Wrong. Option A is wrong.
C, sir.
Option D is sorry. Option D is wrong.
C,
Option
C.
C. E by 2 into 1 plus mu.
Nene correct.
Okay, very good. So what is volumetric strain? What is volumetric strain?
Option
Sum
C,
of
sir.
3 normal strain components.
C.
Option C. Option C is correct. So both A and B are correct.
MJ.
Ninth one, general representation of stress strain relations for 3D body. So sigma matrix equal to D matrix into epsilon strain matrix. So what is meant by D? 6 by 6 symmetric matrix, material constant matrix, both A and B, none of the above.
Yes, sir.
A.
Mathematics, sir.
So C answer. So because so that D matrix is also known as, is also called material constant matrix. So symmetric matrix, 6 by 6 symmetric matrix as well as material constant matrix also. So both A and B. So what is the D matrix for 1D body?
D.
Stress, huh?
D.
D, wrong answer. So A is the correct answer. So because
Hello, sir.
sigma x is equal to 1D body kabatti, so stress varies in x direction. Sigma x is equal to Young's modulus E into strain component epsilon x. Okay. So actual general representation is sigma matrix is equal to D matrix into strain matrix. So at D matrix, so here one element that is Young's modulus E. నేను మాట్లాడుకున్నామండి 1 డైమెన్షనల్ బాడీ మీద సో పాయిజన్స్ రేషియో ఎఫెక్ట్ ఉండదు సో లాటరల్ స్ట్రెయిన్స్ అన్నవి తీసుకోము ఓకే మీరు యంగ్స్ మాడ్యులస్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు స్ట్రెస్ బై స్ట్రెయిన్ అని మాట్లాడతారు కదా సాలిడ్ మెకానిక్స్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ లో
సార్
11th one in plane stress theory how the loads are applied parallel to plane of the body, perpendicular to edge of the body, perpendicular to z axis. So all the above is the answer. So in plane stress theory, what are the components 0? Stress components in z direction, strain components in z direction, sigma z equal to sigma z, tau xz, tau yz is equal to 0.
Option C, sir.
Option C. Okay, this is one of the correct answer. So, but actual answer is in this question, D is the correct answer, both A and C. So stress components in z direction. So z direction components, stress components to 0. So those are the components, these three. So in plane stress theory, what is the expression for epsilon z?
Minus sigma D, sir.
B or D?
B, sir. B,
D,
sir.
sir.
Huh?
D.
D, sir.
D. B, sir.
B.
D, sir.
B is the correct answer.
B, sir.
So D wrong. So minus mu by E
sir.
into sigma x plus sigma y. Huh? ఎవరో కాంట్రాస్ట్ ఆన్సర్ ఇస్తున్నారు ఎవరు డియా సిఏయా బియా
B.
B is the correct. B is correct. Okay, 14. So D matrix in plane stress theory. So in plane stress theory, what is the D matrix? 6 by 6 matrix or 3 by 3 matrix or? So E by 1 minus mu square, 1 mu 0 mu 1 0 0 0 1 minus mu by 2.
అదే
So
సార్.
both A B C, both B C.
D, sir.
So D is the answer.
D, sir.
Yes, D. So you remember in plane stress theory, this is the D matrix. So while doing problems, you need to take this relation directly. D matrix. Okay. Next, 15th question. In plane strain theory, what components will become 0? Stress components in z direction, strain components in z direction, so epsilon z, gamma yz, gamma xz equal to 0. Both B and C.
No, sir.
Answer D. Okay.
DNT.
So 16, in plane strain theory, so what is the expression for sigma z? So in plane strain theory, sigma z not equal to 0. Say epsilon z is equal to 0, but sigma z not equal to 0. So that is equal to A, B, C, D.
C.
C.
Cheese.
C, C is wrong. C is wrong.
I think D. D.
D. D is also wrong. Okay, B is the correct answer.
Hello,
So
sir.
because so epsilon z is equal to, epsilon z is equal to, what is the relation? 1 by E into sigma z minus mu into sigma x plus sigma y. Okay. So epsilon z is equal to 0. So E multiplied with 0, 0. So therefore sigma z is equal to, so Poisson's ratio mu into sigma x plus sigma y. So this is the correct. 17. D matrix in plane strain theory. D matrix in plane strain theory. A, B, C, D.
C, sir.
Huh?
C, C.
Yes, C is the correct. చేశారు ఈ డెరివేషన్ చేశారమ్మా ప్లేన్ స్ట్రెయిన్ థియరీ అది మిమ్మల్ని చేయమని చెప్పాను చేశారా మరి చేయకపోతే మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి దాన్ని చూడండి చూసి ఈ రిలేషన్స్ ఎలా వచ్చినాయో చూడండి ఒకసారి ఓకే సో నెక్స్ట్ టుడే టాపిక్ ఈజ్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఆఫ్ మినిమం పొటెన్షియల్ ఎనర్జీ So what is potential energy? 18 members. I will allow them.
Hello,
So principle of minimum potential energy. So principle of minimum potential energy. So, so what is the potential energy? So potential energy, it is nothing but the capacity to do the work by the forces acting on the deformable bodies. Okay, it is a capacity to do the work by the forces which are acting on deformable bodies. Okay, so forces are classified as external forces and internal forces. Okay, so here external forces are nothing but body forces, traction forces, point loads, so etc. and reaction forces. And internal forces nothing but internal forces which are developing the stresses inside the body. So internal forces are also called resistance force to external force. Okay, so by these forces, on an elastic body, potential energy is developed. So what is potential energy? It is simply the summation of the potential energy due to internal forces plus summation of potential due to internal forces plus potential due to external forces. Okay. So the total potential energy is the sum of internal and external potential energies. So now, let us discuss the potential energy of a spring. The potential energy of a spring. Okay, so the spring is an elastic body. So when we release the force, it regains its original shape after releasing the load. Okay, so that is known as elastic body. Okay, so here I am showing a spring diagram. So this spring, one end of the spring is attached to the at the top. It is hanging. So that is the stiffness constant of the spring is K, and the length of the spring is L. Okay, so before I apply the load, so the spring, it has stable equilibrium. It has stable equilibrium. So at that stable equilibrium, the potential energy. So the potential energy is nothing. Okay. So when we apply the load at the free end of the spring, so due to this load P, the spring is deflected by the displacement U. So this is small u. So deformation U. Okay. So due to this load, this spring has reached a stable equilibrium after some extent. Okay. So due to this load, it is deformed by the displacement U only. Okay. So at this stable equilibrium, what is the potential energy? Okay. So here, first you consider potential energy due to external force, external potential energy. So here in this on this spring, the external load is P. So due to this P, the potential energy is product of load into displacement U. So it is negative. Why it is negative? Work potential is negative. So due to this load, the spring it loses the capacity to do some work. So that work P into U. So that's why you consider the work potential by the external force is always negative. Okay. In solid mechanics problem, so on every body, so we are applying the external loads. So due to external loads, the work potentials are always negative. So this statement you remember. Okay.
ఐడి కార్డ్ పని చేసి బ్లాక్ అయిపోయినారు ఫస్ట్
ఎవరు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు?
రోల్ నెంబర్ రాసుకుని చివరిలో తీసేశారు లైబ్రరీ తీసేశారు సంవత్సరాలకి నేను వేరే బుక్ తీసుకోమని చెప్తాను. ఒక బుక్ దగ్గర టైప్ చేశాను ఫీజు వచ్చి పాపం కూడా బాగాలేదు.
కట్ చేసి
Okay. So work potential, it is denoted as WP. So work potential on the spring, it is minus P into U. So next, work potential due to internal force. So internal force, so this is the force, the spring force, K into U. So the deflection U multiplied with spring constant, that gives the force in spring. Okay. So when extension was 0, that is at the before applying the load P. Before applying the load P, so the force in spring is 0. So after applying the load P, so the force in spring is K into U. So the average force during the extension is 0 plus Ku by 2 is equal to Ku by 2. So therefore, the energy which is stored in the spring, so due to deformation of the spring, it is the product of average force and extension. So 1 by 2 Ku into U. So 1 by 2 Ku square. So మీరు ఆల్రెడీ నేర్చుకుని ఉన్నారండి. సో spring energy in SM lab you calculated by this equation 1 by 2 K delta square. So where delta is the deflection in spring. Okay, so here instead of delta, I am taking U. So this is strain energy. This energy stored in spring due to straining, it is also called strain energy in spring. So therefore, total potential energy in the spring is, it is the sum of strain energy of the spring plus work potential. So in this total potential energy, the term strain energy is the term strain energy, it is always positive. It is always positive value. It is always positive value. Okay. So this energy never becomes 0 or negative. Okay. So this work potential, it is always negative in solid mechanism. So for example, if the work potential is greater than the strain energy, so what will happen? So the material will be failed. So because the load P, it is beyond the scope of to bear the spring. Okay. Okay, principle of minimum potential energy and principle of virtual work. So these are the two principles which are called variational principles, which are used to determine approximate solutions of your mathematical problems. And so principle of minimum potential energy, it is the basic principle. It is used to develop the finite element method. Okay. So for the finite element method, so this is the basic principle. Okay. So now, so let us discuss the total potential energy of the elastic three-dimensional body. So this is 3D body. So for this body, now we have to derive the total potential energy. Okay. So this body, it is constrained at some boundary, supporting boundary, and at some portion of the boundary, so the distributed force is acting, traction force. It is denoted as capital T. So body force per unit volume, capital F. So at point I, the point load Pi is acting. Okay. So this body, it is subjected by all kinds of forces. So when the body is subjected by all kinds of forces, it has potential energy, total potential energy. So as we defined earlier, so total potential energy is the sum of total strain energy and work potential. So here, total potential energy, it is denoted as pi. Strain energy, it is denoted as capital U. And work potential, it is denoted as WP. So in solid mechanics problems, this work potential always negative. Okay. So for linear elastic materials, so first you write down strain energy per unit volume. So strain energy per unit volume, it is according to solid mechanics subject. So the relation for strain energy, so 1/2 sigma into strain. So in FEA, it is 1/2 sigma matrix into epsilon matrix. So sigma matrix is the 6/1 column matrix. So epsilon is also a 6/1 column matrix. So matrix multiplication is not possible when both the matrix as the column. So matrix multiplication is 1. So for our convenience, so one of the matrix we should give the transpose. So sigma transpose into strain matrix. So now sigma transpose is the row matrix, 1/6 row matrix. So strain matrix is the 6/1 column matrix. So therefore total strain energy, it is 1/2 volume integral sigma transpose epsilon dV. Okay. So in finite element method, so you always remember, so strain components and stress components, always they are in the functions of x, y, z. And force components also, they are in the functions of force components, and displacement components are functions of x, y. This point another throughout the subject you have to remember. Okay. So next, so this is total strain energy. So this is equal to capital U. So next term in this total potential energy, work potential. So work potential minus work potential due to body force, work potential due to traction force, and work potential due to point loads. Okay, body force, traction force, and point loads, we consider them as a external forces. Okay, so work potential due to body force. So this is minus volume integral U transpose F dV. So where F is the vector column matrix, 3/1 column matrix. So the components in this matrix Fx, Fy, Fz. Okay, it's a column matrix. U transpose is a row matrix. So U matrix is a column matrix, but U transpose row matrix. U, V, W. The elements in U matrix is U, V, W. So this is work potential due to body force. So this is area integral U transpose traction force vector into dA. So this is work potential due to traction force. And this one, so for this work potential due to point loads, so we cannot apply integration, because so at discrete points we are applying the loads P, point loads Pi. Okay, so for discrete points we cannot integrate. So if the body is continuous, so we can apply integration. Okay, for discrete points we cannot apply integration, so we apply only sigma, summation, work potential due to point loads. So therefore total potential energy is equal to, so total strain energy of the body minus work potentials. So what is the definition of the principle of minimum potential energy? So principle of minimum potential, it is defined for the conservative systems. Okay, for all conservative systems, so the displacements so we obtain on the system are kinematically admissible. And those kinematically admissible displacements, so corresponding to equilibrium. Okay, so when the displacement field it is in extremis, if it is at extremis position, extreme conditions, so the total potential energy at extreme condition is minimum. When the total potential energy at the extreme condition is minimum, so that principle is stated as principle of minimum potential energy, and the system, it reaches to stable equilibrium. The system reaches to stable equilibrium. Okay. So for example, you consider this spring system. So this spring system. Okay. So before applying the load P, so it is at stable equilibrium. So but after you apply the load P, so it has disturbance. So not in equilibrium condition. So it moves the spring. This force P, it drags the spring to downwards up to a distance of u. After reaching the displacement u, so this spring system will reach to extreme condition. So at extreme condition, if you want to say this spring system is in stable equilibrium, so the potential energy so must be minimum at that extreme condition. So that is known as principle of minimum potential energy. Okay. So how do you so mathematically, how do we express that minimum condition and potential energy, minimum potential energy condition at extreme position? Okay, so when we see this potential energy function, so it is total potential energy function pi. It is the strain energy plus work potential. So here the strain energy, it consists of quadratic function of displacements. So it is actual quadratic function of displacements u square. So in this term, the elements in this strain energy equation, so there are terms are in quadratic function. Okay, in work potential, the displacements are linear function of displacements. So linear function of system displacements. So in this strain energy, quadratic function of system displacements. Okay, so now this total potential energy pi, it is in the function of so system displacements u1, u2, so on so on, un. Suppose if the system has at n number of n nodal number n nodal points, so these are the displacements at each node. So these are the displacements. So this total potential energy, it is a function of system displacements. These are the known as system displacements, u1, u2, etc., un. So at extreme condition, this total potential energy must be minimum. So you differentiate this total potential energy. So dou pi by, so dou ui with respect to ui is equal to 0, is equal to 0. So first derivative of total potential energy with respect to ui, where I is the that indicates nodal points, number of nodal points. So I 1, 2, so on so on n nodal points. Okay, at n nodal points, these are the displacements u1, u2, u3, un. Okay, so if you partial differentiate the total potential energy with respect to ui, so this expression, it gives out so n number of algebraic equation, n number of linearly algebraic equation. Okay, so in this total potential energy, these system displacements u1, u2, un, these are the unknowns on the system. So those unknowns we have to find out by using this principle of minimum potential energy. Okay, so by this expression, you will get n number of algebraic equations with n number of unknowns. If you solve them, if you solve n number of algebraic equation, you will get the displacements, system displacements at each nodal points u1, u2, u3, un. Okay, so this is the concept of principle of minimum potential energy. So now let us discuss a simple problem. One more thing. So this principle of minimum potential energy, it is applicable to discrete systems. So like spring systems. So this principle of minimum potential energy, we can compatibly apply on discrete systems. Okay. So here one general problem. Okay. So in this problem, what we have to do, assembly of equations of equilibrium for the spring system shown in figure. Okay, assembly of equations of equilibrium. So in this problem, I will introduce you two approaches. So one is direct approach, the another one is minimization of the potential energy approach. Okay, so at finally you compare both the approaches. So the result will be the same result. It is both the approaches, they yield same result. That you have to compare, that you have to observe at the end of the problem. Okay, so here the problem is, it is a 3-spring system. Okay, spring 1, spring 2, spring 3, spring constants k1, k2, k3. 1, 2, 3 are the nodal points in this system. At nodal point 1, the force F1 is applied, and deformation of nodal point 1 is U1. At node 2, F2, external load, point load F2, deformation U2. At node 3, F3, and deformation U3. So this is the problem description. Okay, so to this, so first let us consider direct approach. So in direct approach, so we consider, in direct approach, we consider each nodal point as a free body. Okay, first we have to draw free body diagram of each nodal point. Okay, so this is the free body diagram of nodal point 1. So what are the forces acting on this nodal point 1? So the force in spring 1, it acts towards left, K1 into delta 1, and force F1, it acts towards right, and force in spring 2, K2 delta 2, it acts towards right. Okay, so here delta 1 and delta 2 are the deflections in spring, but U1, U2, U3 are the deformations of nodal points 1, 2, 3. There is a difference. Okay, so here, so deflection in spring 1, it is U1. So deflection in spring 2, it is U2 minus U1. So the difference between deformation at node 2 and deformation at node 1. So that is deflection in spring 2. Similarly, so deflection in spring 3, it is U3 minus U2. u3 minus u2. So deflection is different from deformation of the nodal points. Okay, that you have to consider. So this is a free body diagram of node 2. This is node 3. Okay. So now you write the equilibrium equations. So at node 1, equilibrium equation in axis of the spring, in the direction of the axis of the spring. So this is you let us consider. So the forces which are acting left, we consider them as negative. Towards right, the forces which are acting towards right, you consider them as positive. So minus k1 delta 1 plus k2 delta 2 plus f1 is equal to 0. So this is the equilibrium equation for at node 1. At node 2, so this is equilibrium equation at node 2. This is equilibrium equation. Only two forces. At node 3, only two forces are acting, force in spring 3 and actional force F3. Yes. So now you substitute deflections. So deflections delta 1, delta 2, delta 3 in these equilibrium equations. Okay, after substituting the deflections, so these are the equilibrium equations. Okay. Okay. So after simplification of these three equilibrium equations, simplification is not you take force components to the right of the equations, rest of the components, rest of the terms, I mean displacement components to the left of the equations. Okay. So k1 plus k2 into u1 minus k2 u2 is equal to f1. So force components ni you take right side of the equations. So you write these three equilibrium equations in matrix form. So in matrix form, this is the stiffness matrix. So this matrix is having only stiffness constants, and this stiffness matrix multiplied with the displacement vector u1, u2, e3 is equal to f1, f2, f3. So this is the result by the direct approach. Okay. So next, now you apply the actual principle of minimum potential energy to this problem. So so before you apply the principle of minimum potential energy, so first you have to know the total potential energy of the system. So total potential energy of the system. Okay, total potential energy of the system. So strain energy of each spring. So this is strain energy of the spring 1. So this is strain energy of the spring 2, strain energy of the spring 3. So work potentials at node point 1. So this is the work potential F1 into U1. So force in the direction of displacement U1. This is work potential, and similarly at node 2, at node 3. Okay. So here also you substitute deflections. Delta 1 is equal to U1, delta 2 is equal to U2 minus U1, delta 3 is equal to U3 minus U2. So this is total potential energy equation of a given system. Okay, if you observe, see this displacement at node 1 in strain energy term, it is a quadratic function of displacement. Okay, so if you observe all strain energy terms in this total potential energy, so displacements are displacements squared, and quadratic functions of displacements, and work potentials only linear function of displacements, linear function of displacement. So now you apply principle of minimum potential energy. So dou pi by dou y, dou u1. So here, so number of system displacements in the system 3, u1, u2, e3. So first you differentiate, partial differentiate the total potential energy with respect to u1 is equal to 0. So this will give the one equilibrium equation. So that is K1 plus K2 U1 minus K2 U2 is equal to F1. So this is nothing but equilibrium equation at node 1 as seen earlier. So next to differentiate total potential energy with respect to U2. So this will again give one equilibrium equation at node 2. So this is minus K2 U1 plus K2 plus K3 U2 minus K3 U3 is equal to F2. So third, dou phi by dou U3 is equal to 0. So this is the equilibrium. Now you write these three equations in matrix form. So this is the final result according to principle of minimum production. So this result is same as this result. Okay. So మీరు డైరెక్ట్ అప్రోచ్ ద్వారా వెళ్ళినా ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఆఫ్ మినిమం పొటెన్షియల్ ఎనర్జీ ద్వారా వెళ్ళినా మనకి సిస్టమ్ ఈక్విలిబ్రియం ఈక్వేషన్స్ ఈ విధంగా వస్తాయండి. So moreover, if you observe in this relation, so first the matrix is stiffness matrix. It is multiplied with the displacement vector, and this is equal to force vector. So in general, so we write this expression stiffness matrix K, capital K, multiplied with U is equal to load vector. Okay, so here, so a numerical problem. So determine displacements of nodes 1 and 2 in the spring system. So use minimum potential energy principle to assemble equations of equilibrium. Okay, so here, so again, this is a 3-spring system, but arrangement of springs are different than earlier. So here, for spring 1, so constant K1 is equal to 60 Newton per meter. Delta 1 is the deflection in spring 1. Spring 2, this is the constant. For spring 3, this is the constant. Delta 1, Delta 2, Delta 3 are spring 1. So 100 Newtons external load is applied at the node 1, 80 Newtons at node 2. Okay, so let us assume, so U1, U2 are the displacements at node 1 and node 2. U1, U2 are the displacements at node 1, node 2. Okay, so now you take deflections. So deflection in spring 1, it is U1 only. Okay, deflection in spring 2, again it is U1. Okay, deflection in spring 3, it is U2 minus U1. U2 minus U1. Okay, so therefore total potential energy of the system. Total potential energy of the system. So strain energy of the spring 1, strain energy of the spring 2, strain energy of the spring 3, minus work potential at node 1, work potential at node 2. Okay. So this is total potential energy expression. So here variables are system displacements U1 and U2, 2 variables only. So differentiate pi with respect to partial differentiate pi with respect to U1. So this is one equilibrium equation. So this one, equation 1. With respect to U2, so another equation, so equation 2. So this is equation 1, equation 2. Okay, you write these 2 equations in matrix form. So this is the stiffness matrix into displacement load vector. So simply you substitute the spring constants in this stiffness matrix, and displacements which are unknown. So this vector we have to find out. So load vector, it is given 100 and 80 at node 1 and node 2. Okay. After substituting, so this is the, okay. So if you want to find U1 and U2, you need we need to take this matrix to right side of the equation. Okay. So this matrix will become inverse matrix to in the right side. So the solution will be, so U1 is equal to 1.33 mm or meters. Okay, so spring constants in meters. Okay, spring constants in meters. So the deflection, the deflection value is also in meters, 1.33 meters, and U2 2.133 meters. So in this way, you need to solve a problem, spring system problem. So these are the expected questions from this topic. So derive the total potential energy equation for 3D linear elastic material. State and explain the principle of minimum potential energy. And this is the problem you solve at your own, at home. Okay. So do you have any doubts? Please ask. So unmute yourself and ask your doubts.
Sir, traction force అంటే ఏంటి సార్?
Traction force is nothing but distributed force. ఆ బాడీ సర్ఫేస్ మీద ఒక ఏరియా మీద యాక్ట్ అయ్యేదాన్ని ట్రాక్షన్ ఫోర్స్ అంటాం, డిస్ట్రిబ్యూటెడ్ ఫోర్స్. అది లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ నుంచి చెప్పుకుంటూనే ఉన్నాం.
మా పాయింట్ లోడ్ అంటే అదే కదా సార్, అంటే అది కూడా ఒక లోడ్ మీద, ఒక బాడీ మీద యాక్ట్ అవుతుంది కదా సార్.
ఇది
పాయింట్ లోడ్,
ట్రాక్షన్ ఫోర్స్.
పాయింట్ లోడ్స్,
పాయింట్ లోడ్స్ కూడా తీసుకున్నాం కదా. ఇప్పుడు మనం టోటల్ పొటెన్షియల్ ఎనర్జీ డెరైవ్ చేసేటప్పుడు పాయింట్ లోడ్స్ కూడా తీసుకున్నాం. ఇదిగో ఇది. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ వర్క్ పొటెన్షియల్ డ్యూ టు పాయింట్ లోడ్స్. అంటే అది మనం డిస్క్రిటివ్ పాయింట్స్ దగ్గర ఉంటుంది, కంటిన్యూస్ గా ఉండదు. కాబట్టి ఇప్పుడు బాడీ ఫోర్స్ అంటే త్రూ అవుట్ ద వాల్యూమ్ ఆ బాడీ ఫోర్స్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ అయ్యి ఉంటుంది. అలాగే ట్రాక్షన్ ఫోర్స్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ ఏరియా మీద డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ అయ్యి ఉంటుంది. కాబట్టి ఇవి కంటిన్యూస్ ఫోర్సెస్, ఇవి ఆ బాడీ మీద కంటిన్యూస్ ఫోర్సెస్. బట్ పాయింట్ లోడ్స్కి వచ్చేసరికి అట్ డిస్క్రిటివ్ పాయింట్స్ దగ్గర ర్యాండమ్ గా సమ్ పాయింట్స్ దగ్గర లోడ్స్ అప్లై అవుతాయి. వాటిని సమ్మేషన్ చేయగలదు, వర్క్ పొటెన్షియల్స్ ని సమ్మేషన్ చేయగలదు, కానీ ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేయలేం.
మిగతా దేనికి ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ చేయొచ్చు సార్?
ఏంటండి?
మిగతా దానికి, మిగతా రెండింటికి ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ చేస్తారు అంటున్నా.
అవును, ఇప్పుడు బాడీ ఫోర్స్ ఒక వాల్యూమ్ మీద ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి అది ఆ ఫంక్షన్స్ ఇన్ ద ఫంక్షన్ ఆఫ్ XYZ లో ఉంటుంది. అదే ట్రాక్షన్ ఫోర్స్ అనుకోండి, సో ఇన్ ద ఫంక్షన్ ఆఫ్ XY ఉండొచ్చు, ఇన్ ద ఫంక్షన్ ఆఫ్ YZ ఆర్ ZX లో ఉండొచ్చు. అది ఆ సర్ఫేస్ నువ్వు కన్సిడర్ చేసుకున్న ప్లేన్ మీద బట్టి ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఎనీ డౌట్స్? Okay. Thank you very much. I will close the meeting.